I think we just witnessed a very big company basically going to mommy and daddy and saying, hey, we squandered our inheritance. Can we please have some more?
Xbox,
Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google, Facebook, eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. If you are new here and this is your first time here and you happen to like this video, please do me a favor. Click that subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications of new content. We upload pretty much every day with rare exceptions here and there, but it's always nice to be notified of when new videos are going up, right? Well, let's talk about WeWork for a while. I have taken a particular fascination with WeWork. I know technically my audience doesn't gain much from WeWork, but I keep telling you, think about it. WeWork was run pretty much the exact same way Uber was run. And yet, WeWork had to oust their CEO, which in all fairness, Uber did have to do. They have not recovered. They did not get to go public. They had to cancel their IPO. Basically, it's like Uber and WeWork went down a very similar path. But one's going forward with the IPO and stuff, the other steering away, falling down a cliff. It's very, very fascinating to watch because you watch it and it's like, this could have easily been Uber. And one way that they are very similar to Uber is they had huge investments from the Japanese company SoftBank, who Mr. Son, I believe his name was. He was like investing billions of dollars in all these startups, basically trying to get the next big thing and diversifying his portfolio. Now, he has gone on record saying that he is embarrassed by WeWork and Uber and the losses that they have incurred from their investments in those companies. But here's the thing. WeWork got in such dire straits, they went back to SoftBank, and even though SoftBank gave him quite a bit of money, like it was well over $1 billion, they went and they asked for another lifeline. Well, SoftBank didn't give them a lifeline. They're taking control of WeWork, which that is very interesting because you don't want to be told from your investors like, hey, we're taking over you. And this is, by the way, one of the advantages of being a private company. If you go to a venture capitalist and you ask for more money, they can give you more money, but they normally ask for something in return. This would not happen with Uber right now because Uber is now a publicly traded company. If someone else wanted to take control of Uber, they would have to buy a controlling stake on the stock market, which is sometimes easier said than done because, sometimes other people see that a company's trying to take over another company and they want to get in on the deal. And sometimes the board can vote on what they call the poison pill initiative, where they dilute the shares to make it a lot harder to do that. But WeWork is still private, and I guess they came to a conclusion that, hey, we need more money from SoftBank or we're going under. And SoftBank was like, okay, but we're taking over the company. Let's look at this. So SoftBank Group Corporation won approval from WeWork's board to take control of the troubled co-working startup in a deal that would hand co-founder Adam Neumann nearly $1.7 billion and sever most of his ties with the company. Because here's the thing with all of these startups and the founders and everything, they normally negotiate a lot of stock options, normally a controlling stake in the company. And they even have what they call super votes. I've been reading about this in the Super Pumped book that we will be talking about in the month of November, where Travis Kalanick not only had the controlling shares in Uber, but all of his shares were super votes. So it would be really hard to oust him. That's probably a similar situation with Adam Neumann, because clearly this guy screwed up. He's screwed up, and this company is so suffering because of it. He still needs to be bought out, though. And that's what this is about. And what's interesting is even though he has totally tanked this company, WeWork might fail and he is going to walk away a billionaire. Figure that one out, right? So it's like, I don't know, that doesn't seem like he should, but whatever. WeWork, in danger of running out of cash in the coming weeks, chose a rescue offer from SoftBank over a competing proposal from JP Morgan Chase & Company, according to people familiar with the matter. It had asked both parties to submit proposals by a deadline yesterday. The deal is expected to value the company at about $8 billion, a far cry from what it was expected to fetch in an initial public offering earlier this year, and even less than the $47 billion at which a January investment from SoftBank pegged it worth. As part of the deal, SoftBank, which already owns about a third of the company, is to buy nearly $1 billion of stock in WeWork's parent from Mr. Newman, who was forced out as chief executive after pushback from prospective investors scuttled the IPO. The Japanese conglomerate will also extend him roughly $500 million in credit to help repay a loan facility of the same amount led by JP Morgan, and also pay Mr. Newman a $185 million consulting fee, the people said. Consulting fee? I wouldn't want this guy consulting me. He tanked the company. Like, you know, I wonder if this is like what they call a Wall Street moment. To kind of understand where I'm coming from here, I was watching the documentary Waking Sleeping Beauty, which is about the Disney animation renaissance. And Don Hahn was talking about, it was, I think it was either Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast. It was one of those two. I'm assuming it's, I think it's Little Mermaid. But whatever, it doesn't matter. So the executives at Disney, the new executives, flew them somewhere, to a meeting somewhere. I think whether it was Burbank, Hollywood, it doesn't matter where. But basically, people had to be flown to this meeting. And at the meeting, they said, we don't have any more money to spend on this movie. Not one dime. Made that abundantly clear. And then they all got in their private jets and flew back to wherever they came from. And Don Hahn said, we spent all this money to tell ourselves we had no money. It was a very Hollywood moment. So I kind of wonder if that's what this is with the WeWork thing. It's like, So the guy who founds a company, totally botches the company, runs it poorly, tanks the IPO prospects, has to basically get fired, but we're going to pay him $1 billion for a share, which is a little understandable. We're also going to give him $500 million credit so he can pay off the loan, and we're going to give him a $185 million consulting fee, even though, frankly, we don't want his advice, because clearly, if he was following his own advice and it worked, we wouldn't be in this situation. That must be a real Wall Street moment. I don't know. Even though this is not a public company, I know. Mr. Newman, who is still chairman of WeCo, as the parent is known, is also expected to step down from the board. Makes sense. The people said he will maintain a stake in the company and remain a board observer. That's probably a business term that most people know as a consultant, like creative consultant. That's the term. Basically doesn't mean anything. Anyway, the nearly 1 billion share purchase is part of a tender offer of as much as $3 billion from SoftBank to be extended to the company's employees and other investors. WeWork's board is expected to announce this deal Tuesday, though the people warned it could be delayed. Well, for the record, this is Wednesday. I got to the end of the day before I ended to the end of Tuesday. I didn't read if this was going to continue, so yeah, it might not. Who knows? We'll see. SoftBank's Vision Fund was expected to move up a $1.5 billion investment WeWork that it had been scheduled to make next year. There was also a $5 billion loan component. So here's the thing. Mr. Newman, who co-founded WeWork in 2010, once had a block of shares in WeWork that gave him as much as 20 votes per share. As part of this deal, all We stock now will have the same voting power. Mr. Newman's stake in the company is expected to fall to below 10% after he sells his shares. Which, in all fairness, this is probably like the best thing he can do. And since the company is not doing well, and since he is unlikely to be hired to ever run another company, this might be the best thing for him. So SoftBank's $500 million loan to Mr. Newman was a critical part of the negotiations, as he had a line of credit that was tied to his stock in WeWork at a previous much higher valuation. When Mr. Newman relinquished the CEO title in late September, it triggered terms of the loan that would have put him in technical default, which would have given JP Morgan and the other lenders the opportunity to make him repay his loans immediately, according to people familiar with the matter. And why would SoftBank be doing this? Well, here's why SoftBank will be doing this. SoftBank has invested billions of dollars into this company. They have clearly lost money. I don't think they're going to see their full investment back, but they could potentially lose a heck of a lot more. So they would rather take control of the ship. Yeah, it's got a hole in it. Yeah, It's sinking, but hey, if someone experienced is behind that wheel, maybe they can steer it to shallow ground before the thing completely sinks. It's unlikely, but we've got to take a shot at it. And by the way, the original captain who ran into the iceberg or the rock or whatever metaphor you want to use, get him in a lifeboat, leave him, get him out of there. So anyway, that's what this is like that was pretty much all there was to it. So yeah, I look at this and I have to laugh. This could have easily been Uber. In many ways, this should be Uber because Uber lost a heck of a lot more money than WeWork. But Uber was much better at raising money and, at the very least, fooling the investors into thinking that they'll someday be profitable. And hey, they're just a unicorn. They really shouldn't call themselves a unicorn. You know what they should call themselves? They should call themselves a butterfly. We're a butterfly. We're a caterpillar. We're in the cocoon. And one day, the profits will come sprinkling in. And we will break out of the cocoon. And we will spread our wings. And we will fly. I'm full of metaphors today. I'm so done with this story. Yeah, SoftBank can't do this to Uber. But yeah, it's fascinating to watch. WeWork... Yeah, they probably won't be around next year. They'll probably be toast by Christmas. Who knows? But we'll see. I've been wrong about that before. What do you folks think? Do you think this is likely to happen? What do you think is the future of WeWork from this point on? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, if gas prices get you just a little down, check out the Get Upside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase. If you want more content from me, check out my other channels, Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound. And finally, if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare drivers out there, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. As always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.